Hey guys, Dennis 78382. Today we're going to talk about hurricane emergency preparedness. When you got to go, you got to go. I'm living through this pandemic. We went through a hurricane here in Rockport 3 years ago. I got a little knowledge on the subject. I'd rather hear from the private in the trenches who's been through some battles than the lieutenant fresh out of college. Gretzky! Drop the puck! Guys, when the Hurricane Harvey hit Rockport, I went to work that morning. And once I got to work, I realized we were going to have to evacuate. I had nothing ready. First thing I did, I was at work, boxed up the computers, vital paperwork, things like that, put it in my truck. Drove back to my place, grabbed a bag of clothes, made sure all the doors and windows were locked and secured, not knowing if there was going to be a house there when I got back, or if there was going to be broken windows and things were going to be damaged. The one thing I've learned is you got to be ready now, not wait until they say the hurricane's coming in 3 days. We're going through this pandemic. Things are starting to get back to normal where there's food on the shelves. Do you remember a month ago, you couldn't buy a case of water. You couldn't go buy canned food. You couldn't go buy a lot of things. Get those things that you need to evacuate now, today, tonight, tomorrow morning. Do not wait for the hurricane warning to come. Those items will not be on the shelves. The first thing I'm going to do, guys, is see what's in my truck already. I'm ready to go. That's the one advantage I have over someone living in a house. Everything I own is in my truck. So I have a lot of vegetables. I got a lot of carbs. I got some potatoes, ramen, oatmeal. I have 2 cases of water. I got some rice here. I could use more protein. I'm going to have enough food to last me for 7 days. Make sure it's available. Water, drinks. Water, 1 gallon per person per day. 7 gallons of water a week. Get food that you can eat in the car. I was driving to San Antonio, usually a 2-hour and 15-minute ride. Took almost 8 hours. Have just food you can grab and eat. Peanut butter crackers, jerky, whatever you like to get you through 7 days. Then have food, canned food, food that you can prep quickly. Open up a can, heat it up, and eat. For protein, tuna, chicken, shrimp. There's different meats that come in a can. Beef stews, chilies, tuna and crackers. It can all just, it's inexpensive. You can open up Chef Boyardee and eat it cold out of the can if you have to. To survive, you can do a lot of things if you have to. It's inexpensive. We're not talking about health food, changing your life. We're talking about living the next 7 days or so until help can get back to your area. You want to if you have a small child, a baby, God bless you. You need everything. 7 days supply. Diapers, wipes, food. Check your batteries. Having batteries is great. If they don't work, you're stuck. Check your batteries. Make sure they work. Get what you need for your phone, chargers, cords, everything that comes with it. Have everything ready to go. Go bag. All right, guys, so you got your food, you got your water. Make sure you have cash. If the power goes out, ATMs don't work, the charge card swipey thingy doobers don't work, you can't buy anything. It's emotional for me to talk about the hurricane. We left. We went to a 4-star resort overnight. The hurricane hit. We don't know what happened to Rockport. We drove back the next day. I swung by my apartment. No broken windows, no power, no water. There was dirt on the floor that had blown through any tiny gap on the house. It looked like someone had dumped buckets of sand in the lower level of my house. That's how bad the winds were. When I was just driving to Rockport from my house, I was staying in Portland at that time, about 20 miles from Rockport. The highway was closed because it was covered in telephone poles. There was no power north of Corpus Christi, all along the coast. No power. In Portland, we lost it for 5 days. We got water back after 3 days. After about 5-6 days, we got power. After about 10 days, we got cable and internet back. My friends in Rockport that lived here had it a lot worse. I had a house full of people. I had friends come stay with me in Portland because first when I got water, people were coming just to shower. When I got electricity, people were sleeping there. It was August in Texas. No electricity. Can you imagine just going through that? But when I was just trying to get from Portland back to Rockport, I had to take back roads. Again, power lines, cables are down, roads are blocked by so many trees you can't even see on the other side of them. I had a F-150. I did a little off-roading. Dead animals, dead cows. More. I didn't expect to see dead cows. Yeah, my friends that lived here, some of them went 5-6 weeks without power. Say that again in America, folks. 5 or 6 weeks without power. That's the kind of things you get to look forward to when a hurricane hits your area. And Rockport was considered ground zero for that. So get your water, get your food, cash. Have cash on you. When we were doing payroll, I was working for a construction company at the time. I had to drive to South Corpus Christi, about 50 miles, to get cash to pay our employees because every bank closer was closed. All the banks here in Rockport were closed because they were damaged. So you need food. You need food you can just grab and eat. You need food that you can cook. You have to have a way to cook it. I have a butane stove. I have the little ration grills. I have flameless ration heaters. And in Texas in the summer, I've already shown you, you can put food on your dashboard and it's going to cook. It's going to heat up. So you want food that's not going to go bad, not food that necessarily needs ice, because if there's no electricity, there's no ice, folks. At least not in Texas. Have a first aid kit. You should always have a first aid kit. Have it stocked. Look at it from the big picture, not just little cuts and scrapes. You might need to do some major things. Be ready for that. You need clothing. You need clothing for a week. When we came back, there's no electricity. There's bugs. We're working to move trees. The government's worried about the roads. They're not worried about your house, your property yet. No one's coming to help yet. This is the emotional part of me. For me, our Texas was awesome. Governor Abbott was right here. Rockport got the help it needed. We got most of the help from other small communities from everywhere. People, church groups, Bob and Jane, who saw that we needed help on TV, showed up with trailers and vans and truckloads of food and pulled over into a parking lot and handed people water, rations, meals. All these workers are coming in to help clear the streets and to run power lines and to get us working. There's no place for them to eat here. Nothing's open. They have to eat too. So not only do you have, it's a town of 8,000 people. Not only do you have to feed the people that stayed here and that are coming back to see if their homes are intact, you have to feed an army of people coming to help you. And it was amazing. There were stores here that weren't even open, that were just giving away their merchandise. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And handing it to people. Where else in America could you find that? There was no looting here. I would feel bad for anyone that would try to loot a small town in South Texas, because we didn't have power, but I can guarantee you 90% of these people are armed and they will protect their property. It just took a long time. I had so many people stay at my house, especially once we got power back, and it was a difficult time. There's still streets around here you can drive down and it looks like the hurricane just hit. I mean, it's just, some people, not everyone had the insurance to rebuild, or the leaches from the insurance company show up and your $200,000 house is leveled and they're going to give you $15,000 to rebuild. It's horrible. But let's get back to the prep, folks. So get your clothing, water, food, clothing, cash. You have a pet. You need everything for your pet. I hope your pet's used to a kennel. If you're fleeing inland, not all hotels accept pets. So you need a plan for that. You need to find out ahead of time where the pet-friendly hotels are. You need to have family members that you're going to go to. Like, we're right on the coast, so we can't head towards Houston because they're on the coast. We can't head south to Brownsville. They're on the coast. We got to go kind of towards San Antonio here. Have a route, an escape route. We're on a peninsula, so we were better off on the back roads than the highway. On the highway, they had both sides of the highway going away from Corpus Christi. You were allowed to drive on the shoulders. So that's 6 lanes going away, and traffic still wasn't moving. And Corpus isn't that big of a city, folks. I think it's the 65th largest city in the United States. So be ready. With all that, have food in your car in case you get stuck in traffic. There's not going to be time to pull over and cook when you're fleeing. So get that beef jerky, get those peanut butter crackers, peanut butter and jelly, and a loaf of bread, water, whatever food is going to keep you comfortable and happy, that's what you need to pack. A can opener, manual can opener. I know a lot of cans are the pull tabs. A lot of people forget about a can opener. And then whatever you need for your specific food, utensils, styrofoam bowls, paper plates, napkins, whatever you need. Your medication, that's got to be ready to go. It's going to be hard to get a hold of your doctor on Monday if his house was leveled by a hurricane on a Friday. You got to have a stock of what necessary medication, and just over-the-counter medication in general. Aspirin, Tylenol, antacids, whatever you use, you need to have that. If you're packing heat, have your guns and ammo ready to go. What are you going to take with you? What are you going to risk leaving behind? How much room do you have? Have a go bag. Be ready to go. Your documents, driver's license, birth certificates, passports, insurance papers. Let me say this again. Insurance papers. You need to have that stuff. Seal it twice in waterproof Ziploc bags. Have it ready to go. Before you leave your house, make sure it's secure. Fill your tubs up and sinks with water. That might be the only water you'll have when you come back. You can at least use it to flush toilets if it's not drinkable. What else can I tell you about your house? See, I don't have a house anymore, and but you got to use common sense. If you have any, if you leave and the electricity's running, fill any containers you have with fresh water. Put those in the fridge. Fill up bottles and containers with any space you have in your freezer, and let them freeze, and that'll keep whatever you have already in there. It'll keep it cold longer. Pack your freezer and refrigerator. What else do we got, guys? Your vehicle, your escape vehicle or vehicles. Keep gas. If you have a pickup, get a gas can now and fill it up. Keep your... If the electricity goes, guys, you're not going to be able to get gas. There were no gas stations in Rockport. You had to go to Corpus to get gas, and not the close part of Corpus. You had to go across town to get gas. We were up in San Antonio, and that storm was raging up there, and we had trouble finding open gas stations, open stores, almost 200 miles away from the epicenter here at Rockport. So you gotta prepare for that, and you have to think way out of the box ahead of time, because if you do nothing, that's exactly what you'll have. Nothing. But yeah, so the main highway, get a back road, get another back road if traffic is bad. Get out early, avoid all that traffic. It might cost you a little extra money. It's going to save you money, and it could save your life. Flashlights, batteries, make sure that everything's working. Make sure whatever batteries you need, like Duracell, make sure they're working. We did pets, and each situation is different, guys. It's always good to have. I go back and forth on this. There's those little emergency radios that are hand cranked. I like those just in case you have trouble with your vehicle. You're going to lose your radio. The hand crank ones can also be used to charge your phone as a power source. A lot of them now have the outlets and adapters that you can plug your phone in there, and you'll get power just by cranking the handle. And those are really good. I didn't mean for this to go on this long, guys. Hurricanes are horrible. A hurricane during the pandemic is going to make things worse. It's going to make things harder to find. Be prepared now, especially if you live along the coast. But those hurricanes over the last few years, they're coming far inland with a lot of power. So it's almost for any emergency you could have. Just being prepped for the next pandemic, the next emergency. Be safe, be smart. I didn't mean to ramble on, guys, but this is an emotional subject to me. I don't want to go through another hurricane. If I see a hurricane coming anywhere close, I am out of here, and it's going to be. I'm going to have to look up a Iowa zip code. I'm going to be Dennis 30496 or something, because I'm going to get the hell out of here. Thanks for sticking with me this long, guys. Thanks for watching. You know what the hurricane said to Rockport? I got my eye on you.